Hi, I'm Jessica from Jessica Wanders, and this is week number 4 of my 2023 freezer challenge, where I try to come up with new or interesting meal ideas, use up the things that are older or I have a lot of in my 3 freezers. I'll leave a link up here to the entire 2023 freezer challenge if you want to watch everything from the beginning. I kind of go over my freezers and what I have that I want to get rid of in the first one, if you want to take a look at that. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to see more videos from me or check out the join button for other ways to support my channel. Let's see what I came up with this week. For breakfast this week, I am going to make some carrot loaf. I will post a link in the description below for the recipe that I am loosely going to try to follow. I've got this shredded carrot from last year that I measured out. It's 3 cups. I don't think I'll use quite all of it, but we'll see. I've got so many things: flour, sugar, salt, vanilla. I've got some eggs, baking soda. I'm gonna chop up some walnuts and throw it in there. I made that pumpkin pie spice, which is super handy, and I'm gonna use in this recipe as well, and add a little bit more cinnamon, eggs, and carrots, and some milk and oil. And I'm gonna make a carrot loaf just to have with coffee for breakfasts. I'm not going to line my pan with parchment paper because I find that's kind of actually more annoying. So I am going to butter with this old butter wrapper. This is, I think, the last one I have. And then flour the pan so it doesn't stick. Preheat to 350. 2 cups of flour. 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1/2 teaspoon of this pumpkin pie spice that I made up. It's got some extra stuff besides cinnamon in it. Mix that up. I did frost these carrots, but I'm not going to squeeze them because I want all that carrot juice. And sometimes frozen vegetables, they kind of seep out the juice. It has all the flavor in it. So I'm trying to fluff it up like it would be if I just freshly grated it. It's actually looking pretty good. I'm not going to pack it down to measure it. I'm just going to sort of loosely fill 2.5 cups of shredded carrots. They do lose some of their firmness when you freeze them. It's maybe 1 cup. 2 cups. And 1/2 cup, 2.5 cups of shredded carrots from the freezer. 3 eggs. 1/4 cup of milk. 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. I'm using canola oil. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Ooh. 3/4 cup of walnuts chopped. Love walnuts in my breads. Mix that up. I'm going to add the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients, and then we'll stir just to moisten. And I'm going to pour it into my 9x5 or 4.5 inch pan that I have greased and floured. It's very, very sort of solid batch of carrot mix. Very solid. Ho ho. There we go. Smoothed it all out. I like this loaf. The last loaf I made almost filled it all the way to the brim, so I'm a little more confident, but I'm still going to put it on a tray on top of a grate in case it spills over, but I don't think that it will. And I'm going to put it in the oven at 350 for 55 to 65 minutes. I'll probably check it at 50 minutes though. That was only 50 minutes, and I honestly thought it was going to come out all gooey, but it's coming out clean. only 50 minutes. It didn't really puff up as much as the last loaf I made, but it looks pretty good. It smells wonderful. It smells like that pumpkin cinnamony spice, and it's not goopy at all. So I'm gonna call it at 50 minutes. I thought I was gonna have to cook it a while longer. All right, this loaf didn't really puff up as much as the last loaf I made, but it smells really wonderful. It's cutting really nicely. Oh, you can see the carrots in it. Oh, in the light. Yeah, there you go. You can see the carrots and the walnuts and everything. It's moist. Oh no. You know what I forgot? I forgot the sugar. That's hilarious. I got to admit, when I make mistakes, I forgot to put sugar in my loaf. It was pretty good. It tastes pretty good, but it doesn't taste as yummy as you want it to taste because I didn't put the sugar in it. It's a very nice loaf. It has a fine consistency, kind of. I don't think I cooked it quite long enough either. I've been sitting here trying to think about what I could do to this to sort of salvage it. And I think that if I fry it, sprinkle some sugar on it and fry it up with some butter, I think it would be fabulous. So that's what we're gonna do. I imagine that the recipe is really good if you add the sugar. Put the sugar away before I put it into the wet ingredients it was supposed to go, I'm pretty sure. It looks very nice. I like the bits of carrot that you can see, and I like the walnut, and I like the texture of the loaf. I'm gonna fry this up with butter and sugar. Maybe butter and maple syrup would be amazing, and eat it kind of like that. I thought about not showing you, but you know, I'm the first one to admit when I mess things up. Carrot loaf could have been so much better, but we'll make it work. Got some butter happening. Definitely answered the question about whether or not you can reduce the sugar and have it still turn into a loaf. Yes, indeed you can. Just fine. Mr. Wander still likes it. He's so agreeable. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, right? Fry it. We're gonna save this carrot loaf and it's gonna be wonderful. It was supposed to have a full cup of sugar, which just seems like an excessive amount of sugar, honestly. You could make up some cinnamon sugar. Actually, I have some cinnamon sugar made up from the $21 Week Grocery Challenge. I don't think I can add enough sugar to this to make it bad. This is only a quarter cup, so I'm just putting some sugar on top. And I'm gonna fry it up. We're just making it yummy. Toasting it up. Oh, see, it looks good already. Buttery goodness. Cinnamon sugar from the $21 Week Grocery Challenge. We're going to put that on top on this side. It's going to be so good, you won't even know. You won't even know that I didn't put sugar in it. All right, anything to get this yummy and tasting better. Could have waited to put the sugar and stuff on until afterwards, but you know. Whatever. I don't care. It's warm. I wanted it warm and nicely smelling spicy. Smelling like pumpkin pie spice cinnamon yumminess. So let's try it now. Oh, it's kind of made a crispy crunchiness. It's hot. I can eat that. I mean, I put not even half of a quarter cup, an eighth of a cup of sugar on this, and a little bit of cinnamon sugar on the top. That's okay. A cup of sugar would have made it really, really, really sweet. If you make this, I don't think it needs the entire cup of sugar. I was okay, Save. I will eat it. I will never let food go to waste. So I'll do whatever I can to salvage my carrot bread. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's nice and I like it when it's nice and crispy like that, a little bit sugary and crunchy. Yum. I fixed it. It's fine. It'll be fine. It's fine. Mr. Waters gobbled it up. He said it was perfectly fine, fried up like a fried bread. Like a fry bread. And it was okay. So in the mornings, I'll just fry up some carrot bread without sugar, and we'll have it for breakfast. So lesson learned, don't get distracted by Mr. Waters when you're trying to make a recipe. He can be very distracting, I would say, through no fault of his own. And I think this time I'm going to put some maple syrup on top. Carrot maple bread. It smells amazing. Like a lot of cake. We'll call it a loaf, but it's just basically cake now. Just cook sugar back into it. Oh, it's been so many weird weeks, you guys. And then I'll just eat it like a cake, and it gets a nice little crispiness on it. And you can't even tell. The steaks and carrot loaf and maple syrup. Maybe that should be the name of the video. It's so good now, though. For breakfast this morning, I'm gonna do up another scramble. I've just had this leftover shredded carrot, and I've never put shredded carrot in my scrambled eggs or omelets or anything, so I have no idea what it's gonna taste like, but I'll let you know whether I like it. I've got this really old cheese that was in the freezer that did not freeze well. I'm going to try to use up as much of that as I can. I've got some garlic and peppers just to make a quick omelet with carrot. I don't know. I mean, obviously I eat egg foo young, but it usually has more than just carrots, and I think they have a very nice sauce that I don't have, but I'm just going to try and fry up those carrots with egg. We'll see if I like it. With garlic from the freezer and green peppers from the freezer as well, and 1 onion. I think I'm gonna throw just a few peas in there too and see how that tastes, right? Carrots, and peas. Butter. 1/4 of an onion. Green peppers. Have this leftover shredded carrot. Previously frozen. These frozen peas. I'm gonna try some of this Indian blend. I just want it to taste a little better. Put some spices in it with the carrot, I think, and the peas. It'll go well. This has cumin, garam masala, onion, and stuff like that in it. I think it's just the carrot and the peas is making me want some Indian spices in my scrambled eggs mix this morning. And a little bit of oil too. Now we're getting somewhere. 2 of these big cloves of frozen garlic. And 4 eggs. And a little bit of this freezer cheese that I'm trying to use up. I'll save some for on top, I think. Okay, it didn't really fold well, so I'm turning it into a scrambly type thing. More like scrambled eggs. Cheese on top. This cheese makes everything good. It doesn't look super appetizing, but I used up green peppers. Again, more scrambles, but I wanted to see if I liked those shredded carrots in there. It's not bad. It's really good. I could have added more of the Indian spice blend that I have, but it did give it a nice little warmth. That's pretty good. I'll eat this up. Yummy. Using up, those grated carrots, some frozen peas. Gosh, these frozen peas are horrible. They've lasted forever because I got a big bag of them, and they're really starchy and grainy and hard, and I don't enjoy them, so we haven't been eating them. Maybe I'll make some soup or something out of them. And then, yeah, shredded carrots, I like it. I like the shredded carrots. Yeah, it's pretty good. I would do that again, actually. Shredded carrots in a scrambled egg or an omelet. I like it. More easy egg breakfast. For some lunches, I am going to do kind of a version of a recipe suggestion from Adrienne Foot. I hope I'm saying your name right, Adrian. They suggested a Thai coconut curry, but I don't have any Thai curry paste. I just have this Madras curry paste. So I'm going to do like a coconut curry soup anyways, just not a Thai coconut curry. Thank you for this suggestion. I do love pumpkin soup. I'm going to use this Hubbard squash, of course. I think it calls for 3 cups, so I'm going to have to defrost another one of these and use 1 cup of this. I'm going to use some freezer garlic. I've got a little onion from the garden, actually. If you use vegetable broth, it would keep it vegan or vegetarian. I just want to use up this beef broth that I have in the fridge, so that's what I'm going to do. Also, I have a tiny amount of this ginger garlic paste that I'm going to use up as well. I do have this ginger spice that I can add to it if it needs more than that. And then I've got this coconut milk. I've got curry powder. If this isn't enough, I want to use this up because I've had it for quite some time. I want to get rid of it. And then I've got garam masala. I'm pretty happy that this recipe uses garam masala because it's one of my favorite spices. And then I've got salt and pepper and some oil, obviously, for frying in. So we're going to do up a coconut pumpkin curry soup. Not pumpkin, squash, I guess. But they're all pumpkin, all orange squashes, right? For quite a few lunches, actually. Hope it's really yummy. I'll post a link in the description below for the recipe that I am loosely going to try to follow. That's how I start everything. 1 onion. Cut it up pretty small. And a little bit of this ginger garlic paste that I had to use up. Throw that in there too. I think it's a good curry paste. I just generally make my own, so I keep forgetting about it in the fridge. That's all. Just need to use it up. Maybe a bit more. It smells so wonderful. Trying to use it up. More isn't bad. Ground ginger. A teaspoon of garam masala, which doesn't seem like very much. Right, that was curry powder, and it was supposed to be 1 tablespoon of curry powder. So I already put in half a teaspoon. So more curry powder. 1 tablespoon of curry powder altogether. Half a teaspoon of garam masala. This is smelling really fabulous. I've got 3 cups of beef broth, but you can use anything. I would normally use chicken broth or vegetable broth, but this I just had to use up in the fridge, so in it goes. 1 can of coconut milk. And 3 cups of pumpkin puree from the freezer. That's Hubbard squash pureed. Didn't we discover that in Australia they call all squashes pumpkins or something, or all pumpkins are squash? I can't remember. There's something though, somebody said that in Australia they just call it all pumpkin. 3 cups of pureed orange squash type stuff. I think butternut would work, and Hubbard works, pumpkin will work. There we go. Bring that to a boil. Only another half a cup left from that second bag, so I'm gonna add it. This is a 1/3 of a cup, like 2/3 of a cup left. How can more pumpkin hurt? More pumpkin won't hurt. Another 2/3 of a cup, just to use up 2 full bags. I don't want to have a little bit left. The bag broke and it made a mess, and so I don't have a full cup left for using for other things, so I'll just add it in there. More pumpkin. I'm gonna give it a run through with my immersion blender just to smooth out. I want it to be a really smooth coconutty soup. There's bits of onion and kind of strings of squash in there that are making it kind of not smooth. So I'm gonna run through it with my blender. You could put it in a blender and that would work too. All right, a little smoother, less little lumpy bits. Such a fast soup because everything except for frying up the onions and the garlic is already cooked. It's already roasted pumpkin that I put puree in the freezer. So nothing after I fry the onions and the garlic needs to cook. It just needs to get nice and bubbly and warm, and it's done. It was a good idea to make it kind of a little bit smoother. Gets that shiny coconut milk to it. I love it. Mr. Wanders isn't home today. He's at work. So I just made him a little lunch. Gonna give it a try. Oh, seems pretty hot. Salt. Ooh. There's a little kick at the end. That's nice. Could use more garam masala. It's one of my favorite spices though, so I'm probably a little biased. A little more salt. Definitely was lacking some salt. And then I think I'll put some pepper in there too. Oh yeah, still makes a big difference. Could even have been spicier. Maybe what? I could have probably put more of that curry paste in there. Yep, I'm gonna eat that up for lunch. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Somebody please remind me what the difference is between curry powder and garam masala. There's something different. It might be turmeric. I'm not sure. But I do like garam masala more than I like curry powder. But I put both in here, so it should be fine. Plus the Madras curry paste. What are we using up? We're using up Hubbard squash from the freezer, plus some garlic from the freezer. 2 whole bags of pureed Hubbard squash from the freezer. Make this soup. I think it'll feed us maybe six servings this size. Thank you so much for the suggestion, Adrian Foot. I didn't quite get the Thai part of it, a Thai curry soup. I didn't have some of those spices, so I went with this, but thank you so much for the suggestion. It's a great idea, and used up a ton of that pureed squash to make a very yummy soup. So yay, thumbs up for me for pumpkin or squash soup. Uses up lots of stuff, lots of pureed squash. I think the Thai one would be really good. I found some recipes that looked really interesting, but I didn't have any of the spices. And I didn't have things like lemongrass either. Today, I am going to use up this paneer that was in the freezer, some Hubbard puree that was in the freezer. These garlic naan breads were in the freezer, some garlic from the freezer, some peppers from the freezer, and I'm gonna do like a paneer curry. I'll post a link in the description below of the recipe that I am loosely going to try to follow. Sarah Divaker, I hope I'm saying your last name right, said like a paneer butter masala, kind of like that. She said her grandmother, I think, used to put peas in it, so I'm going to give that a try and use up the rest of these frozen peas. Paneer, like a curry paneer on rice. I'm just going to cook up some rice regular and serve it with some bread. I think it'll be fabulous for dinner, probably a couple of dinners. The recipe that I'm posting a link to below, I'm technically doubling the pumpkin puree and the sauce and everything, and I'm actually tripling the amount of paneer I'm going to put in it. It's going to be a lot. Let's give it a try. Just going to cut this paneer bite-sized cubes. Just like that, and then I'm gonna fry it up in a little bit of oil. If you don't eat paneer, it's just like a very, very mild sort of cheese, like you're frying up sort of mozzarella cheese that stays together. It doesn't melt. I like it. I don't know if that's a good description. I was always confused because they often call it like a cottage cheese. It's not like cottage cheese in my mind at all. It does have the same kind of mild flavor that cottage cheese has, but the texture is not at all like cottage cheese. It's pretty like thick and it doesn't melt. Oil. Paneer. You can get them before they start burning. I turn this very nice crispy color and just keep flipping them. Get them kind of browned without burning them. I had it turned up too high. Just keep flipping and cooking them until they're all kind of like as crispy as you want them. Until you get tired of flipping them. Yeah, they're a little crispy. Awesome. Set these aside. I'm just going to use the oil that I was frying the paneer in. And I've got 2 small onions. I chopped up maybe 1/3 of a cup of these they're hot banana peppers. And maybe there's some jalapenos in there too. Hot peppers anyways from the freezer, about 1/3 of a cup. 3 of those frozen garlic cloves. garlic, the better. I'm gonna use the rest of this EMOJIS that I had in the fridge. EMOJIS curry paste. Oh, maybe not. Geez, there's so much of it. This stuff goes so far. Well, I'm gonna add that much. There's still more. I keep aspiring to use up all this curry paste stuff. And about a teaspoon of garam masala. And I've got this 2 cups of pumpkin or Hubbard squash puree, still pretty frozen. Dump that in there. Half a cup of peas. Ish. I'm just gonna throw these on a low broil just to heat them up. And milk, I think. Yep, all of it. 1 can of coconut milk. And then all of this wonderful crispy paneer. I wonder if I can get it to go properly. Haha. Oh yeah, yummy. Just gonna let it thicken up a little bit. I'll cook and heat up. Just fluffing the rice. I've got some rice. I did up these garlic naans. They're super hot. And I'm gonna add this paneer curry, coconut curry with peas. It could be a little thicker because I added all of that coconut milk, so it's a little thin, but it still looks really yummy. But if you wanted it thicker, just leave out the other third of a thing of coconut milk that I added. It smells wonderful, has a beautiful color. I'm happy it almost used up that EMOJIS curry paste. It's getting there. Excited for this. Thank you so much for the suggestion, Sarah Diviker. I am going to try this. I know it probably tastes amazing, but let's give it a try. This smells really good. Try that paneer. I wasn't sure how it would be after I froze it, but I think it seemed like it had the right texture and everything, so I'm not that worried about it. Squeaky cheese. That's pretty good. Could have more spices, more garam masala in it. This is so good. I have to pick up some more paneer and throw it in the freezer. Pretty fast meal. Came together really fast once everything was thawed out, and so yummy, especially as we're getting into cooler fall days. It's like a nice warm kind of soup, I guess. Sort of like a soup. Nice warm curry anyway. And those peas are nice in there. Using up that paneer, the peas, some peppers, the garlic. What else? Oh, and this garlic naan bread that had been in the freezer forever. Oh, and the pumpkin. 2 more cups of pureed pumpkin. We're almost into the pumpkin that's in squares instead of puree. Yummy. I'm not feeling very creative or organized these days, but I do want to use up some of these wraps from the freezer and this cheese, which is looking very dry and horrible from the freezer. I sat it in the fridge for a while, so it's thawed out. I have some ground beef. I'm just gonna make some burritos. I've got lettuce, some tomatoes out of the garden still, a little onion from the garden. I've got a little bit of salsa to use up. And then I'm just gonna use some yogurt for sour cream. And I have this Mexican blend. It's got cumin and garlic and onion powder, salt, and probably some cayenne or something. I'll probably mix it with a little bit of cornstarch when I'm frying up the ground beef, just to make it kind of thicker, like a thicker sauce. Taco filling type stuff for the burritos. Make some burritos. 1/3 cup of water, 2 heaping tablespoons of this Mexican blend. Maybe I'll find the recipe and post it on the screen here for what I put in there. Got the angry onion. I'm all about forgetting things this week. At least I'm being consistently forgetful. Oh, onions. I'm so sensitive to onions. A teaspoon of cornstarch. Fast and easy taco seasoning. I never, ever buy those taco seasoning packets anymore. It's so easy to make your own at home. A little bit of cornstarch, a little bit of water, and all the seasonings, and it smells wonderful. Okay, I've got these 2 tortillas. I'm going to sprinkle some water on there and nuke them for probably 20 seconds, covered. I'm going to try to make 2 small ones. I always end up putting too much in my burrito shells. I will try. Already too much. Good job. Some cheese. Some tomatoes. I have tomatoes and salsa. You don't have to put tomatoes and salsa on, but I just have them, so I'm going to put both of them on. Some lettuce. Trying to keep them small. It's not working. Excellent. Some yogurty sour cream. And a little bit of salsa. Some people fry them up at this point. It's already kind of warm from being in the microwave, so I'm not worried about it. And I'm too impatient, so there's that. Burritos for lunch. There's leftovers for Mr. Wonders. Pretty regular meal. And I'm using up these tortillas, and that cheese is so bad. The cheese from that freezer is so bad. It's been in there, I think, the longest, and it is not doing well. So get rid of that cheese as well. Okay, this is what my upstairs fridge freezer is looking like. I took out the ground pork for something tonight, but I've got some small, oh, these say they're large, but they're not very large. Tortillas are kind of like small ones. Small tortillas, maybe some kind of soft taco thing, maybe. I've got some old pierogies. These are chunks of carrot. That is a lot of leeks. I have one really, a couple of steaks, pretty old, and this probably garlic sausage. Garlic sausage. Yeah, I can use that maybe with the pierogies. Easy meal. And then I've got a little bit left of this celery. That's the only celery. I bought some. It's expensive. Green peppers. These are a giant bag of beets. This is more green peppers. I should put those in the same bag. All right, these leftover peas and green beans. 1 more bag of shredded carrots, 1 more bag of pumpkin puree, 1 bag of shredded summer squash. There's some more sausage. Lots of garlic still, more hot peppers, lots of hot peppers. Oh, here's another one of these very small, but they say they're large tortillas. Yep, more leeks. Okay, I have a whole bunch of leeks. Is this leeks too? It could be. I need leek recipes. A tiny little bit of lemon juice that I keep forgetting about. Leeks, hey? Lots and lots of leeks. And then some shredded zucchini. I've got 3 bags of that. Shredded zucchini, lots of peppers, more garlic there. Basil pesto still. Oh, these are more hot peppers. Mr. Wander's hot peppers. He cuts them up on everything. So, but it's looking more spacious. Oh, and a few more cranberries. 1.5 bags of cranberries in there. This downstairs freezer is looking pretty good. I've still got some breads I want to use up. There's pita bread and more, more wraps, tortilla, and there is more squash back there. There's a pile, more pita bread, and then there's 1, 2, 3 Hubbard squashes, each about 2 cups. These pierogies have to go. And that's about everything down here. So the breads, more squash, more squash. I thought I was almost into the cubed squash, but I still have one upstairs and 3 more of these bags of pureed Hubbard squash. That's a lot. And then these pierogies. The ground beef is fine. This is the door, just stuff. Oh, the longanisa. I do want to use those up too. I should move those up into the upstairs freezer so I remember them. This is my chest freezer. I'm not too concerned about the meat over here or down here, which is all pretty much just meat out here. I have to use up these bad peas. They're just not good. They're like, it's like the peas were too old when they froze them. And then we haven't gotten into, I've got weird things like these chopped cherry tomatoes for some reason I froze. I want to use up this crab meat. I keep forgetting about it. Is this more pumpkin puree? That's good. These kind of really freezer dried steaks that are out here. I've got a little bit of, I think this is cilantro. Yeah, it's frozen cubed cilantro, which I don't normally like very much. And then underneath here, there's like kale and cabbage, I think, and there's carrots and yeah, carrots and cabbage and kale and all kinds of stuff that we haven't even begun to touch. Once I clear out the upstairs fridge freezer, I think I'll bring that stuff and put it in there so that it's easier to see. But yeah, I haven't really been using stuff out of this freezer yet in the freezer challenge. So that's it for this week's freezer challenge. Don't forget to give it a like if you enjoy the video. You can click my face to subscribe to see more videos from me, or check out the join button for other ways to support my channel. I'll leave links to the entire 2023 freezer challenge playlist if you want to watch everything else from the beginning, as well as anything else that I think that you'll be interested in. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. See you next time. Bye.